Hello everyone, I am N. Gangamani, DL in Chemistry from TTWR DCW, Utnur. Before entering into our chapter, let us know about the thermodynamics. Thermodynamics deals with the feasibility of a chemical change. With the help of delta G, we can understand whether the reaction occurs or not. Even though if delta G value negative, the reactants do not always lead to the formation of the product instantaneously, and there is a large change between the reaction rate, that is very slow to very fast. But we know that the thermodynamics is concerned with the initial and final stages of the reaction, but offers no explanation regarding the intermediate steps. That means how the reactant molecules will form the product, or with how many steps, or what process the reactants will follow to give the final product cannot be explained by the thermodynamics. Here some questions will arise. First one, then how the reaction will occur? How do the reaction will occur? First question. And the second one, and how can the speed of the reaction can change? That is, how can the speed of the reaction changes? And the third one, intermediate steps. What intermediate steps that reactant molecules will follow to give the final product that is not known by the thermodynamics. So in order to understand these three, we need a special branch of chemistry, right? So in order to understand the speed and the reaction changes, that is nothing but mechanism of the reaction, we need a special branch of chemistry, that is chemical kinetics. So chemical kinetics deals with the speeds of reaction, that is nothing but rates of reaction. So chemical kinetics deals with the rates of reaction. See, let us know what is kinetics. So today we are going to discuss about chemical kinetics, and here first of all we need to know about the kinetics. Kinetics nothing but studies the rate of reaction, and here we are going to learn these topics, and we are going to learn about the rate of reaction and factors affecting rate of reaction, order, molecularity, and first order reaction. These things we are going to discuss in this session. See, fine, the speeds of the reaction can be studied by using the chemical kinetics. Then why we need to read the rates of reaction? What is the use? Why we need to know the rates of reaction? See, here every day directly or indirectly we are interrelated with the chemistry, right? Chemistry is everywhere. If you take agriculture field, the fertilizers that are made up of using chemical processes, and drugs. If you want to produce any drug, we need to follow chemical reactions. That is also chemistry. And in our household liquids, our household liquids also made up of chemicals. That means chemistry is interrelated with everything. Here those products, and that means those required products we need in large quantities. In order to produce in large quantity, if we know the rate of reaction, we can prepare easily. That is the time. Rate of reaction, if we know, we can prepare the required quantities or required products in larger scale. So the chemistry rate of reaction is directly dictates our production of our daily products. If we know the rate of reaction, we can produce the required substances in a larger quantities. So for that purpose we need to know about the rate of reaction. So chemical kinetics is too important, because if you want to produce any chemical, if you want to produce any substance, if you want to produce any fertilizer, drug, or any liquid, if we know the rate, we can easily prepare that substance. So let us know what is rate of reaction. First of all, I will give general equation for rate of reaction. Rate of reaction is nothing but change in particular substance with respect to the time. Rate nothing but change in a particular substance with respect to the time is nothing but rate. Let us take one general example. A person A is there. He wants to his friend B. So, person A starts his journey with the car, starts his journey at 9 a.m. Let odometer reading at that time has X miles. Let us take a person starts his journey by 9 a.m. with the odometer reading X miles, and he reaches his destination by 11 a.m. He reaches his destination by 11 a.m. with odometer reading Y miles. At that time the reading is Y miles. So he started his journey by 9 and reaches his destination by 11, and the odometer reading at the initial stage, that is X miles, and at the final stage, that is Y miles. So XY and 9 to 11. If we want to calculate rate of his speed or rate of his travel, so the person A rate of travel is equals to distance, the change in distance by the change in time. We know that the distance is the final stage minus initial stage. So in the final stage the reading is Y miles, and the initial stage, that is X miles. So Y minus X, that is the distance, and we need to take the time by time. So reached his destination by 11. So take 11 minus 9. So Y minus X by, that is distance by time, 11 minus 9. So we are going to get Y minus X by 2, that is 11 minus 9 is nothing but 2. Y minus X by 2 miles per hour. So Y minus X by 2 miles per hour is the rate of his travel, that is unit form rate of his travel is Y minus X by 2 miles per hour. But he travelled, it has been travelled, that is car, it has been travelled sometimes slower and sometimes faster depending upon the road. Okay, the road condition is always not going to be equal. So sometimes it has travelled slower and it has travelled faster. That means here we are taken the average speed, that is average speed of his travel, that is average rate of his travel, that is Y minus X by 2 miles per hour, that is instantaneous speed. So here we have taken rate is nothing but change in some substance by change in time, that is change in the particular substance with respect to the time, that is nothing but a rate. We have applied for a person. Let us take for a chemical reaction. We know that chemical reaction, ultimately reactants are there and products are also going to be present. So in a chemical reaction, reactants are going to give the products. That means reactants are going to be consumed to give the products. That means the concentration of the reactants decreases by the consumption, because they are consumption. Because of the consumption, the concentration of the reactants decreases and the concentration of the products increases. So the reactants gives product, that is there is a decreased concentration of the reactants and we can say that increased concentration of the products. If we take rate of this reaction, that is change in concentration of the reactants or products with respect to the time, or we can say that the change in concentration of the reactants or products with the change in time is known as rate of reaction. You can see the slide, that is change in concentration of the reactants or time or products in unit time is called rate of reaction, that is rate of reaction. And rate of reaction can be expressed in terms of the reactants or we can also express in terms of the products. We already said reactants are consumed. That means the concentration is decreasing. That is the reactants concentration is decreasing. So if you want to explain the rate of reaction in terms of the reactants, that is equals to minus d concentration A by dt. Here let us take one equation. A gives rise to B, that is A is the reactant and B is the product. Let us consider like this. Then if the rate of the reaction expressed in terms of the reactants, that is equals to minus d into concentration of A by dt, that is equals to minus dA by dt, that is d. Instead, before that we have taken minus sign. D concentration of A, minus sign indicates that decreasing of the concentration, because we expressed rate of reaction in terms of the reactants. So we have taken minus dA by dt. And if you want to express rate of reaction in terms of the products, that will become products. Here A gives rise to B, right? That is the product term is B. So D concentration of the B by dt, that is change in time. D is nothing but change, Nana. So D concentration of the B by dt. Okay, that is the rate of reaction in terms of the product. And here finally rate of reaction is nothing but change in concentration of the reactants or products with respect to the time. Let us see the graph. For rate of reaction. We already said that the reactants concentration decreases. So see the blue color curve. Here the concentration is decreasing from top to bottom. See, on y-axis we have taken concentration, on x-axis we have taken time factor, that is rate of reaction, how it is changes. See, reactants concentration is decreasing, so we are getting decreased curve. And products, see, that is increased curve, red color curve. So here the products concentration increasing, so we are getting increased curve. This is the rate of reaction graph. Okay, then let us discuss about the factors. Find rate of reaction, the change in concentration with respect to the time. Then why we need to read about the factors? Rate is important to produce the required products or required substances. Because of that we discussed about the rate. That's good. Then why we need to read about the factors? See, every reaction gives products, but if we add some factor or with the influence of some factor, the yield is going to be influenced. Okay, influenced. Some factors are going to influence the reaction. Whether they are going to influence positively or negatively, we will discuss. See, if they influence in positive way, we are going to get a huge quantity of the product. That means the production of the product increases with the some factors. The production of the product will going to be increase with the help of some factors. That factors are known as influencing factors of that reaction. See, there are so many factors. If you want to produce a reaction, if there is a factor to increase the rate of reaction, we can add it. With that factor, we are going to get large quantity of the product within few minutes or few seconds. So for that purpose, factors are too important to know about the rate of the reaction. See how they are going to influence the rate of reaction. In this, the rate of reaction can be influenced by the so many factors, but I have taken only important factors. See, first one is the nature of the reactants. Nature of the reactants. And the second one is concentration of the reactants. Third one is effect of the temperature, then presence of the catalyst, then pressure and total surface area. So factors are too important because production of the product will going to be increase, or the time limit, the rate of reaction will decrease or increase, we can know. With that we are going to apply it for the production of our products. See, first factor, that is nature of the reactants. Let us move towards to the factors affecting rate of reaction. In that the first factor is nature of the reactants. In that the first thing, physical state of the reactants. First factor is nature of the reactant. In that nature of the reactants physical state. See, some gaseous reactions are there, liquid reactions are there, and solid reactions are there. We know that always heterogeneous collisions takes too much of time when we compared it with the homogeneous mixtures. So heterogeneous medium is taking so much of time when we compared with the homogeneous medium or homogeneous mixture. See, the gaseous reactions are too faster when we compare it with the liquid reactions or when we compare with the solid reactions. See the order of the reaction in the slide, that is gaseous reaction rates are more than the liquid reaction rates and are more than the solid reaction rates. Okay, the rate of reaction decreases from the gaseous to liquids and liquids to solids because there is a physical change or physical state. In the gaseous state, the movement of the particle is too free to interact with the other particles. So the rate of reaction increases in the gaseous state than the liquids and then the solids. And see, the next part, that is the next factor in the nature of the reactant is physical size of the reactant. Physical size of the reactants. See, take one glass of water and add sugar crystals, big size sugar crystals, and take another glass of water with same quantity and take powdered sugar. Then which one, that is which sugar will dissolve faster means the powdered sugar will going to be dissolved easily. That means if the particle size decreases, the rate of reaction increases. Okay, see the picture. Here there are some sugar crystals and here powdered sugar. So if the particle size decreases, the rate of reaction increases. So physical size of the reactant is also a major factor influencing the rate of reaction. And let us move towards to the next factor, that is chemical nature of the reactants. Just a minute. Chemical nature of the reactants. See, there are two reactions, that is 2NO plus O2, that is giving NO2, and 2CO plus O2, that is giving CO2, that is carbon dioxide gas. Here, that is first reaction is faster than the second reaction. Why? See, in the second reaction, C is there, O is there. Between carbon and oxygen, there is a large electronegativity difference. See, there is a large electronegativity difference between the carbon and oxygen. So, oxygen gets more negative charge. Because of that, there is a strong bond exists between the carbon and oxygen in the second reaction, that is CO plus O2. So there is a strong bond existing between the C and O when we compared it with the NO, because in NO the electronegativity difference is somewhat lower than the CO. So CO bond is stronger when we compared with the NO. So we can break NO bond too easily. That means the first reaction is too faster than the second reaction, because here NO bond is breakable, easily breakable, because there is a weak bond exists between the nitrogen and oxygen. But when we compared it with the CO bond, there is a strong bond between the carbon and oxygen. Because of large electronegativity difference between the carbon and oxygen, oxygen gains more negative charge. So there is a strong bond exists between the carbon and oxygen. This is about the nature of the reactants, that is chemical nature of the reactants. See, in factors we have discussed about the nature of the reactants, in that the first one is state of the reactant and the size of the reactant, and the next one is chemical nature of the reactants. And come to the next point or next factor, that is two important factor, concentration of the reactants. Concentration of the reactants. We know collision theory, right? According to collision theory, if there is more collisions, then there will be a more production of the product, or if there is more concentration, there will be increasing of the rate of reaction, because the number of collisions increases. Number of collisions increases. That is, if the concentration of the reactants increases, then the rate of reaction is also increases. Let us understand with a simple example. There is a acid. Okay, acid is there. If you want to neutralize that acid, we need to add antacid tablet. That is, antacid is basic in nature. So in order to neutralize that acid, we are adding antacid tablet to that acid. So add one antacid tablet to the acid, then observe, and take another glass of acid or acid in another glass, and take this antacid tablet to that second glass. That is, take two antacid tablets. That is, acid in the second case will going to be neutralized faster when we compared with the first stage or first stage. So the acid antacid tablet is one, that is, suppression of the reaction takes more time. When we take two antacid tablets to neutralize the acid, it will take less time when we compared with the first one. So the concentration of the reactants, here the tablets, if the concentration of the reactants increases, then the rate of reaction is also increases. This is the simple example. Or you can see acid rain, that is dilute acid. If you pour it on a tiles, that will be less damaged. If you take concentrated acid, that will damages to a, that is damaging too high. So if the concentration increases, the rate of reaction is also increases. This is about the concentration of the reactants. And let us see the picturized form. See, in the left side we have taken some collisions or some reactants. See, there are less collisions, that is less concentration, and on the right side there are high collisions because high concentration of the molecules are present. So due to that collisions, the rate of reaction increases. So finally we can say that if the rate of reaction increases, the rate of reaction increases with the increasing of the concentration. This is about the concentration effect. You can explain it with a simple examples. And the next one, effect of the temperature. See, this is simple example. If you want to cook food too fast, that is cookies. Cookies can cook faster when we increase the temperature. Simply we can say that if the temperature increases, the rate of reaction is also increases. Okay? If the temperature increases, the rate of reaction is also increases. If we increase the temperature by 10 degrees centigrade, that is, if we increase the temperature by 10 degrees centigrade, then the rate of reaction will going to be double. So, the rate of reaction is going to be double if we increase the rate of reaction. The rate of reaction is going to be double if we increase the temperature by 10 degree centigrade. That is, if the temperature increases, that is temperature coefficient, the definition, that is the rate of reaction is doubles when we increase the temperature by 10 degree centigrade. It is nothing but temperature coefficient. Here the temperature increases, the rate of reaction is also increases. Okay, temperature increases, the rate of reaction is also increases. And you can apply it for coconut oil also. During the winter season, the coconut oil will going to be present in the solid form. Keep it outside of the door and observe it. Then just heat it. When you heat the content, then that solid coconut simply converted into liquid within few seconds when we keep it in a cold condition. See, comparing to that, if we increase the temperature, the conversion of the solid to liquid increases. That is, the rate of reaction increases. This is temperature effect. If we increase the temperature, then the rate of reaction increases. You can see the picture also. See, the next one, the most important factor is catalyst. What is that? Catalyst. Then, what is a catalyst? See, catalyst is a substance which increases the rate of reaction without undergoing any chemical change. It will go and increase the rate of reaction, but it is not undergo any chemical change. Okay, the catalyst here increases the rate of reaction by decreasing the activation energy. See the graph, red line, that is red color curve, that is a uncatalyzed reaction, that is in the absence of catalyst, that is rate of reaction. And second blue color, the activation energy is decreased because of presence of the catalyst. Okay, what is activation energy? That is minimum energy required for the reactants to participate in the reaction. So here the activation energy decreased with the help of the catalyst, so the rate of reaction increases. Simply we can say that the catalyst increases the rate of reaction by decreasing the activation energy. Okay, and here it is the graph. You can see the above one is the uncatalyzed reaction and below one is the catalyzed reaction. Okay, catalyzed reaction. And one way of the catalyst, see the graph, uncatalyzed we have seen, that is activation energy is as it is in the left graph, and see the right graph, the catalyzed reaction, the activation energy is decreased. And see the action of the catalyst. On the left side, the catalyst will go and bond all the reactant molecules together and help them to break. So it helps them to break the bonds, and it comes as it is after the completion of the reaction. That means it is increasing the rate of reaction, that is nothing but the speed of reaction can be increased with the help of the catalyst. And come to the enzymes. Why we need to learn about the enzymes? See, enzymes are the biological catalysts. Okay, enzymes are the biological catalyst. Those are playing key role in our biological system. See, let us take one example for biological enzyme. Trypsin is there, right? Trypsin, it is going to be present in our small intestine, and it will help us to break the proteins into amino acids. That means big size of the proteins can be breaks down into the small size of the amino acids. With that, the amino acids that are going to be absorbed and used for the digestive system. Okay, that is, those are used for our body, because the large size proteins are breaks down into small size amino acids with the help of the biological enzyme, that is trypsin. So the trypsin is plays major role in our stomach, and amylase is there. Okay, it converts starch into sugars, that is polysaccharides into monosaccharides. So here enzymes are too important for the rate of reaction, that is to increase the rate of reaction in our biological system or any other reactions. The reactants, that is catalysts, are playing major role for completion of a reaction within the time, or within the less time. Those are going to help the reaction to complete. See the enzyme, see the picture. The blue color is the enzyme part. That means enzymes consisting of a active site. Okay, enzyme consisting of a active site. This enzyme will, that is substrate, will come and fit into that substrate, that is fit into that active site of the enzyme, and this enzyme breaks that substance or substrate into smaller particles, then comes out as it is. So enzymes helps the substrate to breaks down. Okay, breaks down into smaller particles. The enzyme will help. So this is the enzymatic catalysis. So enzymes are playing major role, and we can say some enzymes are used in the cancer treatment also. Okay, that means some catalysts are used in the cancer treatment. Those are breaking that large size tissue into smaller size particles. So these catalysts are playing major role in our chemistry. Okay, and the next factor, that is effect of the pressure. In daily life we can see the pressure cooker, right? In pressure cooker we can cook food very easily, that is within the less time we can prepare the food. That means if we increase the pressure, automatically we can say that the rate of reaction increases. So pressure effect, if increase the pressure, the rate of reaction is also increases. And here I forgot one point in catalyst. See, in catalyst there are two types of catalysts are there. One is positive catalyst and another one is negative catalyst. If there is a positive catalyst in the reaction, the rate of reaction increases, because the positive catalyst decreases the activation energy. Okay, positive catalyst decreases the activation energy, so the rate of reaction increases. And there are some negative catalysts. Negative catalyst increases the activation energy. So with that increasing in the activation energy, some reactant particles are going to be inactive. So some reactant particles are going to be inactive, so the rate of reaction decreases. Remember one thing, if there is a positive catalyst, the activation energy decreases, then the rate of reaction increases. If there is a negative catalyst, the negative catalyst increases the activation energy and the reactant particles, some of the reactant particles become inactive. Due to that, the rate of reaction decreases. Okay, positive catalyst increases the rate of reaction, negative catalyst decreases the rate of reaction. Here, effect of the pressure we discussed just now. If we increase the pressure, the rate of reaction is also increases. There are so many applications of pressure factor. The simple example is pressure cooker. The next one is surface area. Surface area increases, the rate of reaction increases. How means? See, just now we discussed about the sugar solution in the concentration part. That is, crystalled sugar rate of reaction less and the powdered form of the sugar rate of reaction is more, because in crystal form the surface area of the sugar is less. That is, less number of reactants are going to participate in the reaction. But if we take powdered form of that is the surface area of the reactant increases. Due to that, more number of the particles are going to be involved in the reaction. That means the rate of reaction increases with increasing of the surface area. See the diagram. Left side we have one block, that is one reactant. The surface area of that reactant is less. See, if we break that substance into 8 small particles, see somewhat right side, 8 small size particles, the reacting molecules are increases because the surface area of the reactants increasing here. So with the increasing of the surface area, the rate of reaction increases. Simply we can say that if the surface area decreases, then what about the rate of reaction? Decreases. Okay, that is directly proportional. If surface area increases, rate of reaction is also increases. This is about the surface area. This is one of the factor which can influence the rate of reaction. Okay, which can influence the rate of reaction. See, finally, if we summarize the total factors, see the above one, concentration of the solution. First one is nature of the reactants. If they are gaseous state, more than liquid than solid, and the particle size decreases, the rate of reaction increases. And finally, if there is a weak bond existing between the molecules, then the rate of reaction is also more. And see the concentration, green colored block. If higher concentration, then the rate of reaction will be high. And the temperature, the next factor, temperature. If temperature increases, the rate of reaction is also increases. And the catalyst, if there is a positive catalyst, then the rate of reaction increases, and if there is a negative catalyst, the rate of reaction decreases. And the pressure factor, if we increase the pressure, then the rate of reaction is also increases. And the last one, the total surface area. If the surface area increases, the rate of reaction is also increases. By knowing these factors, we can produce the required chemicals or required substances in large scales. That is, large scale production of the products is possible by the factors. Which factors are going to influence in positive way or in negative way? If we know about the factors, we can able to prepare the products too easily. Okay, these all are about the factors affecting rate of reaction. Okay, the next part, order. Okay, order of a reaction. What is an order? First, so why we need to learn about the order? Order means it gives the relation between the rate of reaction with the concentration of the reactants. That means the order of the reaction gives relation between the rate of reaction and with the concentration of the reactants. See, order is nothing but sum of the powers of the concentration terms. So we need to take the concentration terms power that going to be added, that is sum of the powers of the concentration terms is nothing but an order. See the examples. Let us take one equation. A gives rise to product. A is the reactant and that is giving a product. And take the concentration of that reactant. The concentration can be indicated with a closed bracket. So we need to take closed bracket. In that we need to write A. That is the concentration of A. And dx by dt, that is change in concentration. That is x is nothing but concentration term. So dx by dt is the time. That is rate of the reaction. Dx by dt is directly proportional to the concentration of A. And if we remove that proportionality symbol, we are going to get proportionality constant, that is K. So dx by dt is equals to K into concentration of A to the power 1, because there are one molecule, that is one A is participating in the reaction. So we need to take the power as 1. And what about the order? Sum of the powers of concentration term. Here in this equation we have only one concentration term, that is A, and the power is 1. Then the order for this equation will become 1. And come to the next equation, that is A plus B gives rise to product. That is A and B combinedly giving the products. That is rate dx by dt is equal to K into concentration of A and concentration of B. That is concentration A to the power of 1 and concentration B to the power of 1. Then what about the order? We need to take the power, sum of the powers of concentration terms. So take the concentration term A power, that is 1, and the B power 1, 1 plus 1, that is equals to 2. Then the order of reaction for this equation is nothing but 2. When we come to the last equation, Ma plus Nb gives rise to product. Simply the concentration term A to the power of M and the concentration B to the power of N, then the sum will become M plus N. That is the order for this equation. And in the above I have given one equation, that is rate is equals to K into concentration of A to the power of X and concentration of B to the power of Y. Then the order for this equation will become X plus Y, because concentration term A, the power is X, and concentration term B, the power is Y. Then the order of the equation is X plus Y. This is about the order. Here order is giving the relation between the concentration of the reactants with the rate of reaction. Okay, this is about the order. And one more term is there, that is molecularity. Okay, molecularity. The name it is indicating the definition. See, molecularity, that is molecules. The number of molecules or atoms or ions participating in the rate reaction or rate of the reaction, that is nothing but molecularity of that reaction. See the examples. N2O5 gives rise to N2O4 plus half O2. If you take the order as it is in the before case, one number of N2O5 are participating, so order, that is concentration, that will become 1. And the molecularity, the how many molecules are participating? Only one molecule, that is N2O5, so the molecularity will become 1. Let us come to the example number 2, H2O2. Just a moment. H2O2, that gives H2O plus half O2. Here order is 1 and molecularity, there are one molecule H2O2 is participating, so molecularity will become 1. And 2 hydrogen iodide combine to give H2 plus I2. Here order is 2 and molecularity is 2. Come to the example number 4. Order, that is concentration of NO is the power is 2, oxygen is 1. So 2 plus 1 is nothing but 3. And the molecularity, that is NO2. Molecularity is 2 NO, 2 molecules, and O2 1, that is 2 plus 1, that is 3. So order is 3 and molecularity is 3. See, when you observe example number 1, 2, 3 and 4, the order is 1, molecularity is 1. Order is 2, molecularity is 2. Order is 3 and molecularity is also 3. That is, order and molecularity is same for so many equations or so many reactions. Come to the next example, RCl plus H2O. Here order is 1 and molecularity is 2. And the last equation example, order is 1 and molecularity is 2. See the order and molecularity. These two are differ. Why means we will discuss in upcoming slide. See, remember this part. The 4 examples, order and molecularity are same, and in next examples order is different from the molecularity. And if you see the differences between the molecularity and order, see, molecularity is nothing but number of molecules. That means how many number of molecules are atoms or ions. Just a number are participating in the reaction. That is molecularity. Then what about the order? That is the concentration term. That is sum of the powers of the concentration term. And see, order is experimental determination and molecularity is a theoretical concept. And here molecularity may not be, that is cannot be 0. That means in order to form a product there must be a reactant. So there is, that is molecularity is not going to be 0, but order can be 0. Order can be 0. Next one, it provides no information about the reaction mechanism. Is molecularity provide any information? No, because we are just knowing the number of molecules participating but not about the reaction process. So molecularity is not going to give any reaction mechanism. But when we compare with the other, it can give. These are some differences between the molecularity and order of the reactions. Okay, order gives the relation between the concentration versus rate of the reaction, and molecularity gives the number of molecules or atoms participating in the rate of reaction. This is about the order and molecularity. And here we got one term in the middle of the order, that is rate constant, or we can call it as specific rate constant. Okay, specific rate constant, and it is a proportionality constant. It is a proportionality constant, and it explains the relation between the rate of a chemical reaction versus concentration of the reacting substances. Okay, that is rate constant is indicated with a letter K. Order is sum of the powers of the concentration terms, and rate constant is giving the relation between rate of the chemical reaction versus concentration of the reacting substances. And there are different orders of reactions. Based upon the concentration of the reactants, there are different orders of reactions. First one, first order reaction. That is, if the rate of reaction depends upon the only one concentration term, that is first order reaction. That means in first order reaction, the rate of reaction only depends upon one concentration term. When we compared with the second order, in second order reaction, the rate of reaction is depends upon the two concentration terms. Okay, in second order the rate of reaction depends upon the two concentration terms. And zero order reaction, that is the rate of reaction is independent of, that is 0, the order is 0, There are first order means one reactant, second order means two reactants, here zero order. That means no reactant. That means the rate of reaction is independent of the concentration of the reactants. That is nothing but zero order reaction. First of all we discuss about the first order reaction. Let us see what is first order reaction. A reaction is said to be first order if the rate of reaction is depends upon the only one concentration term. That is, one concentration term decides the rate. See, this is the derivation part for the first order reaction rate, that is equals to, let us consider a equation. A gives rise to products, that is A gives rise to P. Then the concentration at time t is equals to 0. That is, at the initial stage the reactant concentration is A and the product's concentration is 0. And if we take after some time t, that is A minus X reactant's concentration and X is the product's concentration. We know that rate of reaction dx by dt is equals to rate constant K into concentration of A. But after time t, we got concentration of A as, that is changed to A minus X. So substitute that A minus X, that is dx by dt is equals to K into A minus X. Okay, then dx, take the similar terms aside, that is dx by A minus X is equals to K1 into dt. Then integrate on both sides. That will come integral of dx by A minus X is equals to integral of K1 into dt. That is integral of 1 by A minus X into dx is equals to integral of K1 into dt. Upon integration, minus log A minus X is equals to K1t plus C. Because integral of 1 by X into dx is nothing but log X. If we apply it for integral of 1 by A minus X into dx, that will become log A minus X. But here instead of X, A minus X term is there. So we need to differentiate that A minus X term also. So minus log A minus X into d by dx of A minus X, that is nothing but minus 1. So minus log A minus X we are going to get. And here integral of 1 into dt, nothing but t. So any constant upon integration we are going to get the differentiating term. Integral of 1 into dx will become x and integral of 1 into dy will become y. Similarly, integral of 1 into dt will become t. So here the finally upon integration we are going to get minus log A minus X is equals to K1t plus C, where C is the integration constant. C is the integration constant. And here we know that at time t is equals to 0, the x value is 0. We know that t is equals to 0, x is equals to 0 at the initial stage. So take that and apply or substitute these t0, x0 in equation number 1. We are going to get the value of C as minus log A. Value of C is minus log A. Substitute that equation number 1. Finally, upon simplification, we are going to get the first order rate equation is K1 is equals to 2.303 by T into log A by A minus X. This is the rate equation for the first order reaction. Okay, this is the rate equation for the first order reaction. It is too important, 2.303 by T into log A by A minus X. Then what about the units? See, K1, that is first order rate constant, that is constant term, so no units, 2.303 no units. By T means seconds. Log A by log A minus X. Let us take log A by A minus X means above numerator is also a concentration term and denominator is also a concentration term, moles per liter. So moles per liter by moles per liter. So we can strike it off. So finally we are going to get with K1 is equals to 1 by seconds. That is nothing but second inverse is the units for the first order rate constant. Okay, here see the first order rate constant, the second block, that is second inverse. If you calculate for 0 order and second order, the units are going to be like this. For 0 order you are going to get mole, liter inverse, second inverse, and for second order you are going to get moles inverse, liters, second inverse. These are the rate constants units for different orders of reactions. These are the different orders of reactions. Then half-life of the first order reactions. Characteristics. First one is the unit. Characteristics of the first order reaction, that is units, second inverse. Then next come to the half-life period or half-life time. What is half-life? Half is nothing but 50%, right? That is the time taken for the completion of the half of the reaction. Okay, the time taken for the completion of the half of the reaction is nothing but half-life of that reaction. Or simply we can say that the time taken for the conversion of concentration of the reactants to half of its initial value. That means if you want to convert the reactants concentration to half of its initial value, the time taken or the time duration is nothing but half-life of that reaction. See K1, we know that according to first order rate constant, K1 is equals to 2.303 by T into log A by A minus X. Here take time is equals to T of, but that is half lifetime. So T is equals to T of, then X is equals to A by 2. So when we substitute this T value and X value in the above equation, we are going to get, simply we are going to get 2.303 into log 2 by T of. But we know that log 2 value is 0.3010. Let us substitute this log 2 value in this equation. Then K1 is equals to 2.303 into 0.3010 by T of. Upon multiplication of 2.303 and 0.3010, we are going to get 0.693. So finally the T of the first order reaction is 0.693 by K1. If you know the first order rate constant value, we can easily calculate the half-life of the first order reaction. This is about the half-life period of the first order reaction, and we can see the generalized equation, that is C 0.5 A naught is nothing but the concentration is decreased to half. 0.5 is nothing but 1 by 2, right? That is 1 by 2 of A is nothing but half of its value. So upon calculation we are getting 0.693 by K. That is the half-life of the first order reaction. See, the next one is the first order reaction graph. If we plot a graph between concentration versus time for the first order, we are going to get a straight line which is passing through the origin. That means if we write K1 is equals to 2.303 by T of into log A by A minus X in the form of y is equal to mx, that is concentration term is on left side and the time factor is on right side. So we are going to get y is equals to mx form. So any equation, if it is in the form of y is equals to mx, then we are going to get a straight line which is passing through the origin. So here the first order graph, we are going to get a straight line which is passing through the origin. This is, you can see the slide. This is the graph for first order reaction. Okay, this is the graph for first order reaction. And come to the examples. Examples of first order. First one is the H2O2, decomposition of the hydrogen peroxide, that is decomposed as water and O2. It is example for the first order reaction. Here if you want to know the reaction, rate of reaction, we can collect that oxygen. that is the evolved oxygen can be collected at different intervals of time, then we can able to calculate the order of that reaction. Or we can titrate H2O2 against the KMnO4. If you titrate H2O2 against the KMnO4, also you are going to get the order of that reaction. And here some more examples for the first order, that is N2O5 gives 4NO2 plus O2. That is also example for first order, and conversion of the cyclopropane is also come under first order reaction. Okay, these three are the examples for the first order reaction. See, first order is nothing but a rate of reaction is depending upon the concentration of one term. In example also you can see only one term is there, reactant. Okay, that is depending upon this term only, concentration of that reactant term. These all are examples for the first order reaction. And the next one is pseudo order reaction. While we explained about the order and molecularity, we have seen some examples with different orders and different molecularity. So most of the reactions are having same order and same molecularity, but some of the reactions they are differ in the order and molecularity. That means the reactions which are having the different orders and molecularities are called pseudo order reactions. Okay, most of the reactions are having same order and molecularity, but some reactions are having different order and molecularity. Those are called as pseudo order reactions. Pseudo order reactions. See, what are the examples for pseudo order reaction means? See, ester, upon hydrolysis it gives acid and alcohol, right? See the example number 1, that is ester upon water, that is giving acetic acid and ethyl alcohol. See here, water we have taken in excess, that is if a concentration term or if we take any reactant in excess, then the rate of reaction is not going to be depend on that factor. That means in a rate reaction, if one reactant is taken in excess, then the rate of reaction is going to be depend upon the another reactant. That means the excess water will not influence the rate of reaction. See the order for this reaction. Example 1, we are going to get order K into ester to the power of 1 because the water is not showing any effect on the rate of reaction. So we are not taking the concentration of the water. So the order we need to take only ester term, that is 1. So order will become 1. What? Molecularity. Molecularity is nothing but the number of atoms or molecules or ions participating. Here one ester molecule is participating and water. So we need to take molecularity as 2. So order is 1 and molecularity is 2. That means order is different from the molecularity. It is an example for the pseudo order reaction. Similarly, the next one is C12H22O11, that is also gives order 1 and molecularity 2. So we are getting different order and different molecularity. This is about the pseudo order reactions. That means even though there are two reactants, the rate of reaction is depending upon only one concentration term. That means this is a pseudo first order reaction. Okay, this is pseudo first order reaction. Till now we have discussed about the rate of reaction and the factors affecting the rate of reaction, order, molecularity and the first order reaction. See, this is a first part of chemical kinetics. See, chemical kinetics we explained, these are too important for us to know about the rates of reaction. So chemical kinetics chapter plays a key role in our day-to-day life. If you know the rates or if you know the rates of reaction, we can able to apply it for production of the compounds. Nothing but here rate is determining, it dictates the production of our products, daily products. So the chemical kinetics is too important for us to develop the reaction or to fast the reaction or to get more quantity of the product. We need to know about the rate of reaction and what are the factors that are influencing the rate of reaction. Up to this, that is up to pseudo order reaction, this is about the first part of the chemical kinetics, and this is the end of the session. Thank you everyone, thank you for listening and thank you for watching this video. This is Gangamani. Thank you everyone.